he actually gave me exclusive rights to an interview here for a book that's coming out really, really soon. I want you to tell me a little bit about what that's about.
Sure, yeah, on May 4th, well that was the original date, now it might be mid-May, but my next book is called Whole Foods to Thrive. It's coming out. There's 200 recipes, and they're within the same nutritional parameters as Thrive diet, so gluten-free, wheat-free, yeast-free, soy-free, dairy-free, all plant-based, nutrient-dense whole foods. But the part of the book that I found most interesting to write was the environmental section to do with resources used to produce food. So looking at the amount of land, water, fossil fuel, and the emissions created to get nutrients in return. So looking at different ingredients that are most nutrient dense get used the least amount of each natural resource to produce. So that's something I call the nutrient to resource ratio. So of course the goal is to get more nutrition while expending fewer natural resources. So just kind of merging I guess nutritional requirements with environmental sensibility, really. Choices you make as to what food to eat affect you, certainly, but they also affect a lot of other people who are down the line. And I just think it's somewhat irresponsible to make decisions that affect so many people without knowing all the facts.
What is one staple in your diet that you can definitely say you can't live without, you have to have in your day at least every day?
Well, you know, from taking into account all these things we're talking about, I mean, hemp is a phenomenal one. Hemp is well grown locally, you know, Canadian, just grown here. Also uses very little water, very little land. Also, in comparison to other ways to produce protein, it's 45 to 50% protein. So few resources out for a lot of nutrition in. Yeah, so fulfills the nutritional requirements in terms of protein, omega-3 fats, a lot of trace minerals as well, while using very few resources. So hemp is a great one, and hemp is the base to our blended drink. You know, Vega, complete whole food health optimizer, is the first ingredient. So that makes environmentally sound as well as nutritionally sound. So, you know, and also what I did in this book too is applying this knowledge that I learned helps me formulate products as well that are in line with this.
How do Vega products help you out in your diet? How do you incorporate that?
Well, Vega Complete Whole Food Health Optimizer is a replica blended drink I made for myself for years. So it's really just what I was making. It's in all-in-one. So it's protein, essential fats, fiber, greens, enzymes, probiotics, vitamins, minerals, macro, chlorella, you know, the whole bit.
Somebody who is looking to maybe transition into vegetarianism or just healthy eating in general, what would be your one key piece of advice that you would recommend for them to do?
I would say start slow. Don't try and do too much too soon. Just ease into it. You know, change is stress. Even if it's positive, you want to ease into it. So, I started off with a smoothie, just having that nutrient-dense whole food smoothie, and your palate will start to change. You'll start to really appreciate the taste of good, healthy, whole food. And once your palate changes, everything's easy because then you just crave the good food, and you never feel restricted, you never feel deprived. So I think just having like a Vega smoothie, or even just making your own smoothie that has all those nutritional components will make a big difference. And that's the way I suggest it.
Awesome. And just one last question: how do you feel about raw foods, and what do you think their importance is in the diet, and especially for an athlete? How much of that do you incorporate into your diet?
I eat quite a large percentage of my food raw, say like 80% if I had to guess. And I think it helps, you know, to have raw, fresh, whole foods. But not everything has to be raw. I don't think, like some things, I just don't think it's as important about performance. I want to feel good, I want to perform well. So I eat accordingly, which for me works out to be, like say, around 80% raw. Some people eat more raw, some less. But yeah, I think people can play around with that percentage a bit.